On November 24, 1971, a quiet man in a dark suit walked through the terminal of Portland International Airport, carrying a briefcase and a calm expression that revealed nothing about what was coming next. The airport was busy with holiday travelers, the air was cold, the atmosphere ordinary, and no one noticed him because he looked like someone you would forget moments after passing him. He approached the ticket counter, identified himself as Dan Cooper, and paid cash for a one-way ticket to Seattle, Washington, declining to check any luggage. In an era where security was minimal, identification was rarely questioned, and passengers moved freely from curb to cabin, nothing about the transaction raised concern, and no one realized they were watching the opening moments of the only unsolved skyjacking in American history. Flight 305, a Boeing 727, departed Portland shortly after 7 in the evening, climbing into the dark winter sky as Cooper took his seat near the rear of the cabin. Witnesses later described him as polite, calm, and unremarkable. He ordered a bourbon and soda, lit a cigarette, and waited patiently as the engine settled into a steady hum. He did not appear nervous or rushed because his plan was already in motion. Minutes after takeoff, Cooper leaned toward a flight attendant named Tina Mucklow and handed her a folded note. At first, she assumed it was a phone number or a casual message, but when she opened it, her training dissolved and reality set in because the words were simple, direct, and terrifying. "I have a bomb." When she returned, Cooper calmly opened his briefcase, just enough to reveal what appeared to be wires, red cylinders, and a battery arranged carefully inside. His voice never rose, his expression never changed, and there was no anger, only certainty. He explained that the device was real and that he expected full cooperation. His demands were precise: $200,000 in $20 bills, 4 parachutes, 2 primary and 2 reserve, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. He instructed the crew to notify authorities, but warned against any tricks because he would know. The crew complied because nothing about Cooper suggested bluffing. When the plane landed in Seattle, the passengers were released unharmed, and Tina returned carrying a bag filled with ransom money, along with the parachutes. Cooper inspected everything carefully, satisfied that his demands had been met. While most criminals would have fled at that moment, Cooper ordered the crew back into the air. Once airborne again, he instructed the pilots to fly toward Mexico City at low altitude with the landing gear down and the cabin unpressurized, conditions uniquely suited to the Boeing 727. The aircraft flew south through darkness, rain, and turbulence as tension filled the cabin. Cooper positioned himself near the rear of the cabin, maintaining control, while the crew followed every command. Somewhere over the dense forests of Washington state, Cooper lowered the rear stairs, secured the ransom money, strapped on a parachute, and, according to the crew, issued a final instruction for the cockpit to remain sealed. Then, without ceremony, without witnesses, and without hesitation, he stepped off the aircraft into total darkness, disappearing into the storm below. When the plane landed safely, authorities launched one of the largest manhunts in FBI history. Search teams flooded the forests, helicopters swept the terrain, and investigators retraced the flight path inch by inch. But days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months with nothing to show for it. No body was found, no parachute was recovered, and no definitive trace of Cooper emerged, leaving investigators divided over whether he survived the jump or perished unseen. Nearly 9 years later, in 1980, a young boy digging along the Columbia River uncovered several decaying bundles of $20 bills buried in the sand. When the serial numbers were checked, they matched the ransom money, totaling $5,800, only a fraction of the original amount. The discovery confirmed that at least some of the money had reached the ground, but it answered none of the questions that mattered most, because Cooper himself was still gone. The case permanently changed aviation security, leading to metal detectors, baggage screening, and stricter passenger identification measures, because one calm, intelligent man had exploited every weakness in the system and vanished. To this day, the identity of Dan Cooper remains unknown. No suspect has ever been charged, and although the FBI eventually closed the case, the mystery endures. The story of a man who boarded a plane with nothing but a briefcase and a plan rewrote history and disappeared, leaving behind one unanswered question. Did he survive the jump, or did the forest claim him forever?